girls and boys, welcome back again. Today's cooking is going to be pizza, everyone's favourite. Again, another very simple recipe with very simple ingredients. Turns out really tasty. So let's get cooking. So our ingredients for pizza, pretty simple. Flour, about 10 tablespoons of flour here. Water, warm water, not freezing cold, it will rise better with warm water. About 200 milliliters, or as you can see, a cup of water. Teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of yeast, or 1 packet of fast-acting yeast, okay? And that's going to help make our dough rise up and be lovely and fluffy. Later on then we have some tomato sauce, passata sauce, just plain tomato or chopped tomatoes, whatever you have, and some cheese for the topping. We're going to keep it really simple. First off, we'll start with our base for our dough. This is all we need. So in goes our flour. That's the flour. Salt. Yeast. You're going to get your hands into this one. Give it a mix. You want your flour and your salt all mixed together nicely. And then the water. So don't add all the water straight away. Leave a bit, because you might not actually need all of it. And we're going to start mixing it together. So you can see it's a little bit sticky in the middle, but it'll soon dry out. See, it's starting to come together now. If you're finding that it's very dry and it's definitely not sticking, add a little bit more water. I'm talking about a teaspoon or so at a time, not a lot, because it can get very sticky very quickly. It's no problem, you can always add more flour. A little bit more. Start to come together nicely. A little bit more. Now, so once almost all of our flour is cleared off the bottom of our pot, our container. Oh, not cleaned. Put that to one side. We get our dough. So we may need a little bit of extra flour for dusting. So a little bit over the top, a little bit on your table or your board or whatever you're using. And next we're going to knead the dough. And kneading is just squeezing and stretching, squeezing and stretching. Okay? You're going to want to do this for about 5 minutes, so maybe we'll get an adult to take over and do that. A little bit of exercise for us all, doesn't do any harm. But we're going to keep kneading and stretching now for the next 5 minutes, and what will happen is at the minute the dough feels a bit hard and lumpy and breaks easy, okay? We're going to keep kneading it, and it's going to start to get stretchier and softer and nicer, and that's what we want, and that's what's going to give us a really nice pizza base. Been kneading now about 5 minutes. So my dough has softened up a little bit. It's a little bit more stretchy. So what we're going to do is take it, place it in the bowl. So in your bowl, put a little bit of oil around the bowl and around the sides. What that does, it lets the dough rise up without sticking to the bowl. So right now, the little yeast that we put in there, it's going to work really, really hard inside of our dough, and it's going to create lots of bubbles. So this little ball of dough here, it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow about twice the size. And when it gets to that stage then, we're going to take it back and make our pizzas. Cover your dough, bit of cling film over the top, and place it somewhere very warm. So the warmest place you have in the house, or if not, you can stick on your oven at about 30 to 40 degrees and pop it in there. Keep an eye on it, take it out. Sometimes it takes up to about an hour, could take a little bit more depending on your room temperature, but when it gets to double the size, then we're going to take it back out. Our dough has been rising now for about 50 minutes at this stage. It may take longer. You can see the top of the bowl puffed up a little bit, and our dough has got bigger. You can see some little bubbles in the bottom of the dough. That means we're ready to go. So we take our dough out, pull them off, and the dough, light and fluffy, and you'll hear the bubbles coming out of it as we press it down. Now we're going to make about 2 pizzas out of this bit. We don't need a lot, so we can tear our dough in half, pop that back in the bowl. Take the next piece. There's a little bit of oil here from the bowl, so we won't need a lot of flour hopefully. So you have two ways of doing this. You can use your hands and press your dough out. Okay? You can use a rolling pin and roll your dough out. It's up to yourself. You want to get your dough nice and thin. In this house, we like to have a nice crispy base on our pizzas. If you like a softer base or a thicker base, leave it thicker. And what we often do is pre-cook the pizza base. So now that it's rolled out nice and thin, like so. So it is quite a strong dough. You can mess about with it, it doesn't rip easily. Onto your pizza tray, spread it out. Okay, so I'm making little pizzas. We'll pop this into the oven, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, good hot oven when you're making pizzas. Put it up above 200, as close to 250 as you can get it. And we'll pop this in, let it crisp up nicely, and then we'll put our toppings on. So pizza base is out of the oven, nice and toasted. A little brown here, don't worry about that there. It's up to you how long you leave it in for. First I'm going to put on my tomato sauce. It is just passata tomatoes, or if you have a tin of tomatoes and blitz it up, whatever you like yourself. You don't have to put it on, some people don't like the tomato sauce on the pizzas. That's absolutely fine as well. You're going to need 3, 4, 5 spoons of sauce just. As I said, you can add other ingredients to your sauce like garlic and herbs, whatever you want. Once you have it covered in sauce, cheese is on next. If you want to add pepperoni, you can, pineapple, chicken, meats, sausages, whatever you like. It's your pizza, so whatever you like on your pizza, you can add. Here we like our plain pizzas with cheese, a little bit of herbs, little sprinkle over. Now, and then we pop this back in the oven again for another 5 minutes or so, and just till the cheese is cooked through, because your pizza base is already cooked. Once your pizza's been in the oven for a few minutes, it'll brown up nicely on top. Pop it out, let it cool for a minute or two, pop it onto a tray, and then all that's left to do is cut and enjoy. Hear that lovely crispy base. Tear out our slices, and there we go. Delicious homemade pizza. It's good. Till next time, kids. See you later.